Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of FSi DFS Fantasy NASCAR Picks. I'm your host, Mega31. Apologize, my computer's been having some issues. If you watch the truck video or the MLB video, you know that my sound drivers and video drivers didn't update and things got a little screwy. So I apologize if the sound quality and the video quality is not great today, but I'm just going to try to get you the content. In a short period overnight here, I've done 3 videos for you: truck series, MLB for the day, and then this will be Xfinity. And now I'm going to be off to work soon. So just a programming note, next week is Richmond, and there's a Xfinity race during the day, and then followed by a truck race at night. Having some teeth pulled the day before, so I might not be able to talk for the video. I will try my best. If I can't, I will at least have something up there like the sheet for you, and then maybe some PowerPoint slides with some notes and values and things just I want to call out. So I will have some content for you. So check out the other videos I have for this weekend. And next week, like I said, I'll have something for you. It might not just be me talking. So Xfinity race, Pocono Raceway. The weather, it's been raining on and off overnight, which I didn't think it was supposed to. So I'm presuming that the weather will be okay for this one. It just gets kind of frustrating every single week with NASCAR where we think we've got we're good to go, but the weather doesn't look bad at all today. It looks like it's going to be pretty clear, maybe some showers here and there, but nothing to like end this race prematurely. I don't think. 90 laps, so there are some dominator points, but it's not like a short track where there's like 200, 300, 400. It's a little tough to pass here. It is, it's called the tricky triangle. And a lot of times, as on the truck video, it comes down to a few mile race. But the truck video, it seemed like the statistic was that the race is usually won within like the top 3.1 on average. So like you got to look at the top 6. I think here you can go a little bit deeper into the field from previous winners, and I think you have some Cup Series guys in here and all-star cars who are pretty much going to eat up my prime plays just because of how good the car is, how good the crew is, the fact that they're not racing for the playoffs. I didn't color this one like the truck one because they have like 7 or 8 races before the playoffs, so it's not as much of a crunch yet. So I don't think I need to start to call that out. But these Cup drivers are not racing for points, so they can pit early before the end of stage. They don't need to stay out there for the stage points. And with that, it could help them get on a different field strategy. And if they hit it correctly, they might be able to be out there with the track position for the win, while the other ones might have to pit at a different time and not be able to catch up to get up there. So let's jump into it. Qualifying was a little bit different here. You do have there were like 3 or 4 cars that did not make it, and among them was like Kyle Weatherman and some decent drivers that just weren't fast enough but didn't have enough points from these guys that run every week that are just absolutely abysmal. So there is a lot of bad cars towards the bottom here, and if you're looking for place differential, I don't think you're going to get it, because I think a lot of these I don't know if they're going to make it through the race, or even though it's a larger track, like they just are potential for some long green runs where they can get down some laps, and it's hard to kind of get them back. So we'll start up top. Josh Berry, 4th in practice, number 1 in 10 lap speed here, got the pole. So I think he's definitely could be a cash play to get out there and to do well. Daniel Humrick also did well in qualifying here, 9th in practice, didn't have top 8 10 lap speed, but then again with truck race nobody had him. It's a longer track, so it's potentially that there weren't a lot of people that stayed out there long enough to qualify for that. So I'll call that out, but I don't think we can necessarily eliminate people because they didn't. But I think Daniel Humrick is just starting way too far forward here. I know it's a colored car, and I know he's an experienced driver here. Maybe the fade's a little too harsh. Maybe I should have it as I'll have it as a GPP, but I don't think that he's going to get ahead of Barry from what I saw in practice and qualifying. And I think that he will, probably finish top 10 if he doesn't run into trouble, but I don't feel that he could win this race. Sheldon Creed, he's got to be GPP. This guy could win this race. This guy could get out there and get ahead of Barry in a couple laps and lead every single lap. But we saw last week what happens is he ran a clean race. We were so excited. And then towards the end, he goes for it and takes out a bunch of cars. And you're just like, shame on me for playing Sheldon Creed, because you knew what was going to happen. It just didn't happen until like the second to last or last lap of the race. But that's who he is. He's going to go for it. He's going to go for the win. And I think he's put himself in the position in points and everything that he has. I'll just look at the standings quickly. That he has, well, he's 10th right now. So I think he should be okay for the playoffs. He's 45 points above the cut line. So he hasn't done well enough, even with his crashes, to make it in the playoffs. But if something happens and some people win and he starts to get closer to the cut line, he's going to be more desperate to try to get that win to solidify himself in the playoffs. Connor Mosaic, really good qualifying run here. He's in the Joe Gibbs 19. And that's a really good car. 21st in practice. I think he's starting way too far forward here. I think, with these cup drivers and in here and all the other experienced drivers, that this is not, a place where I really trust playing him. I think he's going to fall down and get, he's got a high potential to get negative DK points for you. John Hunter Nemechek, I usually brand him as a GPP because he's been up and down, but he's won the last two races. And the first one you could say was kind of lucky. The second one, like, he did probably have the best car out there and just nobody could catch him towards the end. So 15th in practice, but 5th and 10th in long run speed. So I think you definitely need to consider him. I think he's going to be more of a GPP play, even though he's got like the cash brand here in the floor for cash, because I think if people are trying to play some of these cup guys, you can't get him in. And there's a couple other guys with better place differential that could do just as well, but in his price range, outscore him. So I'm going to leave him as cash. I'll let you decide, but I think he's going to be more somebody you'll find in your GPP builds in cash. Sammy Smith, 17th in practice, 4th with long run speed. Another Joe Gibbs car here. Like, you have 3 of them in a row. So obviously they've got something figured out here with qualifying, or maybe they set their cars up more for qualifying. And then, for long run, because if you look at their practice times, they're all similar in like the teens. And then you have like they qualified up here in the top 10. So maybe they set them up for qualifying more than race trim. So we'll just have to see if they can actually stay up there during the race, or, they'll have to make some adjustments to get back up there. Are these cars going to be able to keep the long run speed that they showed in practice if they did something different to set them up for qualifying? Then you have a pack of JR Motorsports cars, and all the JR Motorsports cars in the top 9, which also shows me that I think that they're onto something too. So Brandon Jones is always a GPP because he's got certain tracks where he excels on. He's got certain tracks where he struggles on. Out of all of them, I think he's my least favorite here. I mean, if you want to do stacks in GPP of Gibbs, and even, I don't know if I play Mosaic. I'd probably play Nemechek and Smith, and then fill in with some of the other Toyotas in the field. But with the JR cars, I think you can probably get them all 4 of them in the line. And then you might have to play some of the vomit players down towards the end of the field. But in GPP, if they all do well and hold there, and then through attrition some of these back markers actually do well, stay in the lead lap and advance a little bit if there's like a wreck or something, which doesn't happen too much at Pocono. But people can cut tires or maneuver wrong into the wall and cause other people to wreck too. So we've seen that. So just a thought there. But I do like the Mayer and Allgaier in cash. Allgaier was the fastest in practice. He had number 3 in long run speed. Again, if the Gibbs cars set themselves up different for qualifying, that might have propelled them ahead. But if Allgaier and Mayer's car are set up for the race and they went out there and qualified with what they were doing in practice, then they might be able to get up ahead of them. Cole Custer, I think you got to consider in cash also. Just he's been in good form recently. He's got some experience here in the Cup Series, and his cars looked fast recently, and he was number 2 in practice. And then Austin Hill's running the truck race, so he's going to have plenty of experience here this weekend. Will fatigue be a factor? I don't know, but starting 11th, having the 3rd fastest car and the 2nd in long run speed, I think he's somebody definitely that you can look at here. Jeb Burton, I think, starting way too far forward, so he's a GPP. Then we have Chase Elliott. I don't know why he's running this race. Just maybe it's like uh, they had certain races, and this is one of the ones they picked. And I think he likes the track and everything. I don't think it helps him at all. Like try to, he's I believe he's won here before, so in Cup Series. So I don't think he really needs to prove anything. But 12th in practice. Again, he doesn't have to worry about pit strategy and stuff. He's probably the most talented driver in the field. So he's having an off year. Maybe this is a chance to come down here and maybe do well and win this race and get some confidence more for Cup. So, and it should be an outstanding car. He's probably got a great team, crew chief, and everything. So I think all bodes well for him to do well. He's not a 13th place car. Should probably get up into the top 5. And it's not like a Kurt or Kyle Busch in Truck Series where he's like 13,000 where he'd have to lead a bunch of laps and stuff. I think that Chase Elliott can get it done with place differential and a good finish and maybe leading a couple laps. Jeremy Clement, I like him as a driver, but he's starting too far forward here, so he's going to fade for me. Corey Heim is well in the Truck Series, and it's coming up here in a Sam Hunt Toyota car. This is one I'd probably pair with the Gibbs cars here. I think it's definitely going to play him in cash at 7,400, 6th in practice, so I think he's good there. Chandler Smith, I gave him the cash tag because he won the Truck Series race last year, and obviously he understands this, and this is a decent colleague car and team. 19th in practice. It's a little bit, but just with the win last year here, I'll give him the cash tag. Ryan Sieg is a great value here. Same thing with Brett Moffitt being the Brett Moffitt whisperer. I'll tell you when to play him, when not to play him. There's $200 difference between these cars. They're both top 15 in practice. I think that they can definitely stay in the top 20, if not get up to the top 15. And if you need cars in this range, I think they're great plays in cash. Retzloff, he's had some bright spots. He's usually held his own, but he's gotten some more wrecks recently. So, and this is a difficult track for those who haven't had as much experience in it. So he's going to be a GPP this week. Cal Sieg is a cash play and probably my favorite play under 6K here. 16th in practice. I think he'd definitely stay in the top 20. He's had some experience here and done well. So at 56, I'll play him in cash. Herbst and Klingerman. Herbst gets into a lot of wrecks. Like he was 8th in practice, so definitely has potential to move up. And the same thing with Klingerman. He's aggressive enough to move up, and then also in the truck race. But I've just seen them have too much trouble, and I kind of like the guys in the 7K range where I'm saving some money, starting just a little bit ahead of them with practice times just a little bit slower. I think I'd rather play them and save the money than Herbst and Klingerman in cash, but in GPP, I think I'm fine. And again, if you want to start with like guys down here, go, do a balance lineup of like Herbst, Klingerman, and Gralla and think that they're going to have some place differential, and then mix in some of the guys up top, then I think that's also a decent way to approach the slate. But Suarez here is definitely going to be a prime play. He in the number 10 colleague car, which is another all-star car, doesn't have to worry about stage points or anything. 27th in practice, but I think he'll be fine here. Like, again, I think they can get track position by doing some goofy strategy things to get up there. It's the same thing with Ty Dillon. He's in a number 3 Richard Childress car. This is probably one of the better cars. Like he's in an okay car in Cup Series, but this is really good equipment here. And I think it's definitely at 7,100, 18th in practice and 8th overall long run speed. I think he can definitely get up in the top 20, if not the top 15. So at his price point, I think that's something I can't turn down. Anthony Alfredo, it's just the driver's okay. The car's not great. Probably going to finish where he starts at 6,300. It's not a bad spot. Ryan Ellis, Alpha Prime Racing. He didn't look really good in practice. There's actually some cars that didn't make the field that actually did better than him. So he's going to be fade. But Josh Williams here at 5,800, I think he's another good play. I don't see anybody behind him potentially getting ahead of him. So I think he can get up into the top 25 here and have a solid day. And he's had some consistency recently also. So 5,800, sign me up for cash. Sage Karam, GPP, same thing with Joe Graff Jr. I usually fade him because he's the human caution flag, but I look at the guys behind him. I don't know if anybody can really get ahead of him here. He's in the seed car. He's not in the Joe Gibbs racing car. And he actually done good the last couple of races. He got taken out by other people. So I'll give him a chance here in a GPP pool just because I've seen him do some amazing things in a really bad car. Gets a GPP tag. Chad Chastain, this DGM car is not that bad. I've seen people do well in it. So, he didn't make the truck series. But I think that was more like speed in his equipment. So here's his chance to race this weekend. And I think that will, there's some place differential here if he can hold his own. Jeffrey Earnhardt just has a lot of experience here. So I think you can look at him in a GPP down here. But I'm really engaged. I don't trust these cars to make it the full amount. And then Blaine Perkins is our motorsports. I think there's upside here at 5,200, but he didn't look good in practice or anything. So I think you can get ahead of the Emerald Gase cars, and maybe if some of the other cars like Ryan Ellison have some issues, then he might be able to move up like 5 points or so. But down here, it's really kind of a dart throw. I'd rather, finish my lineups with the 5K ones of Kyle Sieg and Josh Williams. I think they're known commodities. I like what I saw in practice and everything and their consistency over some of the other ones down here. But, if you do need to fill in with these GPPs plays just to try to get a bunch of high price guys into your lineup, then by all means go for it. I'd go for the GPP ones over the fades. So, and then probably I just start at the bottom and go like Perkins, Earnhardt, Chastain, Poole. Maybe I'd consider Graff over them. So maybe I start with Graff and then go down to Perkins and just play the place differential game up the ladder. So that's what I got for you. If you have any questions, you can put them in the chat below. Hit me up at Regular31 on Twitter. The race should be tonight, so hopefully, there's plenty of time to build your lineups and stuff on that. And if these videos help you, please help us back. You're helping by just watching this video, so I appreciate it. Even if you made it to this point to hear me say this, I appreciate that. So thank you so much. If you want to go the extra mile, then please like the video, subscribe to our channel, and share with your friends. And if you want some more information on FSi DFS and you want to get into our Discord to get like one-on-one coaching and help with your lineups and stuff like that, it's $5 a week and it's like $15 a month. It's super, super cheap. The description of the video can get you to the website and get you all the information you need there. So I'm going to sign off so I get these videos uploaded. And I appreciate you watching. Good luck in your contest. Have a great weekend. And I'll see you next time.